when we talk about the value of communication, that the strategy on expanding the social circles and the context of society as a whole, what kind of key terms will appear in our mind? There are indeed many key terms appearing in my mind. This includes language, text, culture, civilization, social values, even psychological influences. There are many more terms related. How exactly do our language systems and forms of communication came together throughout the cultures that interact in the world? Our native language is intimately and with all sorts of details related to the rest of our lives. Both in our greater community and in smaller groups within that community. In my explorations, I've come to see that cultures are expressed and transmitted with the learning of languages, and languages help us to explore different cultures. Anthropologists consistently speaking the relationship between languages and culture. It is indeed more realistic to consider languages as an integral part of a culture, a form of communication and expressions that also transmitted culturally. Looking back, I still remember vividly the first year I came in Greece. I came with a stereotypical mindset of perceiving the Greek language and culture just based on what I've told at school. And I even thought that Greece will never reach its peak again because the eras that had made Greek culture as one of the greatest had long gone with history, making ancient gods, mythology, philosophies, and mathematics just a distant part of history and memories. The fact that the ancient Greek is no longer in use and only taught in textbook also confirms to me that the cultures of those times were no longer here. Through the use of languages, any skills, techniques, products, even modes of social interaction can be controlled or explained. The end results of anyone's inventiveness can break cultural boundaries and be made available to anyone else in the world with the intellectual ability to grasp what is being said through the languages. Innovation and ideas are shared between people of different countries through languages. Knowledge of the languages representing a culture allows people to interact more effectively. In my experiences as a foreigner, since Greek isn't even my second languages, many times during my stay here, I've found myself being in a suspicious and sometimes even embarrassing state because of the communication issue. For example, when I have had to go to a public hospital, there are always misunderstandings due to the language barrier between me and the doctor. Various such experiences in a variety of contexts also confirms to me that spoken languages vastly extends the amount of usable information in any human community and speeds up the acquisition of new skills and adaptation of techniques to related to changed circumstances or new environments and cultures. In today's increasingly multicultural world, modern broadcasting techniques allows for almost instantaneous transmissions of communication all over the globe. If you use a local taxi to get around like me, think about how often you may hear different languages through the music radio, weather reports, economic reports, and so on. Frequently, exposure to different languages combined with the practical digital tools of rapidly translating the different languages of the world has made it possible for usable knowledges of all sorts and cultural experiences to be made accessible to people almost anywhere. This in turn accounts for the great rapidity of scientific, technological, political, and artistic, even social changes in the contemporary world that we are experiencing today. Almost all of this can consequently be attributed to the environment and dominant role of languages in the transmission of culture. In my mind, there's no doubt that languages are indispensable tools for our productivity and life as well as expression of our cultures. But also language have a value that's far greater than the thousands of most extremely resources that we are gradually developed and mastered in the long process of human evolution. Languages enable people to make cultural connections and develop their understanding beyond the study of linguistics. Humans have never stopped exploring, learning, and researching different languages. And most importantly, we continue to recording the growing number of nearly distinct languages. And we even looking forward to get more and more younger generations to learning and to experiences the beauty of these languages that no longer in use. A growing number of multilingual people in the world that spreading their passions for learning languages to be joyfulness, open-mindedness, and convenience of language learning and cultural awareness. So far, my explorations of languages have shown me that learning languages are a very useful way to elevate ourselves, to apply what we have learned, to be humble, peaceful, and open towards cultures that are other than our own. And because language learning is always something in progress in our era of globalization and information explosion, languages enable us to be more knowledgeable and respectful of the evolution of each culture through history and thrive us as a global citizen and living in a beautiful world as today. Thank you.